long overdue and much anticipated video that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and this is not the final video. This is not a room tour. This is a quarantine enhancement tour. This is the life that I get to lead every day, and I have been here for about 2 weeks now. By the time you're seeing this, I've actually been in self-isolation for over 2 weeks, and it's not a lot of space. I have roughly 13 square meters in which to live, which for those of you that think in feet is about 140 square feet. So it's not a lot of space. I am, however, fortunate to have a nearly completed chateau. The reason I'm saying this isn't the final video is because there are a few things that I've been wanting to do with this place that I've been kind of putting off for a number of reasons, as we do in life. And now I'm just wishing I had the materials that I need, because I totally would have finished putting this together now that I'm stuck in here all the time. But if you go back and you see one of my old room tours, you'll see why it's a really good thing that I've got it set up the way that I have it now, because this place used to be literally just like a mat on the floor and a desk, and that's basically all I had. And now it's much better. In the end, for me, it's all about efficiency with the use of space. So like this couch that I'm sitting on right here doubles as a bed in case I ever have any guests. I actually slept on it for a few months while we were waiting for my other bed to come in, but this folds out and I got it just the right size, thankfully, that it actually fits within the space and doesn't knock the TV off the wall. But I should probably buy real sheets for it at some point. This is just an old duvet cover. And eventually, when I'm gonna put some shelving in under the TV, it should still fit with those tiny little shelves under the TV as well. That's one of those things. I'll go over the things that I wish that I'd finished later. But above me is the cozy cloud. You can see how cozy this is. I actually don't usually sleep with this many pillows. I got these because when I originally got the mattress from Simba, thanks again Simba, I wanted to make sure everything looked nice, so I got a full set of, pillows or whatever, but I only really sleep with one. I shove the rest in the corner when I'm not using them. Or they're available for use with the, the bed downstairs. They're for guests as well, but they basically just don't get used. I have a couple of things going on up here. One is that I have a cell phone charging station right here, right? I was gonna put a wireless charger on this post, but unfortunately, the Indiegogo campaign that I supported never came to fruition. They took my money, but they never sent me a product. That's great. Over here, you can see that this, if you go look at old vlogs, this gaping hole over the shower used to be just a gaping hole. But I installed this nice glass wall here so that it lets light through and I don't run the risk of accidentally falling into the shower when I stumble home some night up the stairs and into bed, because that would be terrible. But you can see the cozy cloud, it's very cozy. It's fantastic. It's high enough to be a ceiling for downstairs, and it's got enough space that I can just touch the ceiling right here. This light, by the way, is the devil. I hate this light. And then over here, I've got an outlet where I plug in the fan. I have a fan in the corner here, which I use to keep cool in the summer and just generally move air around up here because it's higher up and this is where all the heat goes. And what's really cool is that the bed came wired with an outlet here in the corner, but it's only the one outlet. So I have to either have the fan plugged in or the fun lights that I have ringed around the top of the bed. Again, I could get another little multi-plug for that, but it's just finding, you'd be surprised, they're all at the wrong angle. Like normally for plugging into walls, so all the ones that I found run into the same problem, which is that you'd have to plug them in through the barrier, railing, whatever you call it. Anyways, let's go back to the stairs. And that charging station for my phone is on a power strip. I actually plugged it into a power strip that I shoved in there, and originally I'd use command strips to try and stick it to the wall and then to the side of the bed, but I couldn't find any power strips at the time that were square, so I ended up shoving some rolled up underwear in between the power strip and my bed, and it worked. It's been there for over a year now. So apparently underwear is an acceptable, if not acceptable, at least effective way of keeping your power strips in place where you sleep. Don't try that at home. That sounds like a fire hazard. Now that I say that out loud, that was probably a really bad idea. Anyways, that's what I plugged my Google Home into, as well as the Starlight that's over there. The lights kind of crisscross on the wiring just based on how they hang in the room and how I'm trying to hide the wires. But you can also see in the background this purple light. That is a Wi-Fi enabled light that I use for streaming and all kinds of other things, and it can be kind of any color you want. Hey Google, make the lights green. Yeah, green works. But light is really important in here because there's not a lot of natural light. I only have one window, a very big window, which is great, but it's really difficult to control, and I don't really get a lot of direct sunlight, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for filming, but it does mean that, you gotta make do with what you have. So I have a whole bunch of lights scattered around the room in different places to try and you know, make it so that it's not dark in here and I can film at any given point in time. When I first was vlogging every day, I had no real lights, and I was trying to come up with a solution for talking and facing the window. Actually, I hung, you can see over here that I have a magnetic Joby tripod where I used to hang my phone a lot, and then I had a webcam, some other stuff that I would put on it, but I can use the magnetic feet to hang it on that metal window. And that's where I used to do a lot of my monologuing. But at night, and especially during the winter when there's no daylight, like, I had no real option. So I got the ring light probably a couple years ago, and that helped to solve that problem to some degree. And I still use it for when I'm streaming and so forth, but I've been adding more lights over time. These really big lights behind me though, the LED, like fun, cool ones in the wooden box, I have a few different setups like that were for the office, and now that are here for no other reason than I have nowhere else to put them. And they add more light and ambiance, which is great. I don't really have any temperature controlled lights I would like to get set up in here, is one of the things that I want to do. And I want to get lights underneath this space in here. I have some LED strips that I wanted to install, some other things, so I can bounce, again, more light in the room and also just make it a little bit cozier. But as you can tell, I've gone for a warmer light setup just to make the room feel a lot cozier. And it does make it feel nice and cozy. It's nice for sitting and reading, for watching movies, for just kind of hanging out. And while I can't really host here more than like 1 or 2 people at a time, it is still delightfully cozy. I have had a few different people sleep on the couch downstairs, fold out the bed and so forth. That's a little bit much for more than a couple of days at a time, but it's effective and it works. And so I've been able to have a couple of friends stay over that way just to, you know, when they missed flights or things like that, which has happened. I've also got the coffee station going on. So the coffee station is a little bit complicated because in the stairs double as storage, right? So the stairs are where I can put all my clothes, but it's also where I hid another power strip. My Wi-Fi router's in there, as is the base for my kettle. So I'm able to boil water on the stairs really easily. Just pull that out, it's already plugged in, boil water, and make coffee on the stairs. The grinder is over in the other corner for the moment, just to keep it lower to the ground because it's a little bit heavier. In that corner where I have a plant, my coffee grinder, and some pens right now, as well as the ring light, is a corner that I'd like to put a little bit more organizational, like some actual shelving in, instead of just that old metal table that I've got there at the moment. But that works well enough for now. It's doing the trick. It definitely isn't hurting anything. But I would like to get that space better organized, especially because it's right next to my workstation. The workstation is a little bit cramped because of the couch, so that may be the first thing you notice. And the second thing you're probably going to notice is that I don't have a chair, which, if you've been watching me stream lately, is kind of like my #1 complaint about life right now. And the reason is because I destroyed the chair that I had was kind of garbage to begin with, and then I destroyed it for a project. And so I've downgraded to the stool that I'm actually sitting on while I'm talking to you right now as well. It's a stepping stool that was in my storage, and it works. It technically holds me up, so that's good. At least it's, you know, it hasn't dropped me yet. When I work at my desk, it's usually on my laptop. The space on top ends up being, you know, for storage. I get scattered and messy all the time, I'm trying to keep it clean. But what's made my life even better lately is that I have the second monitor that Yanni grabbed for me, which is really, really great, and it's added a lot. It's a curved monitor that I have hanging out right next to my laptop now, so I can extend my workspace digitally, put windows over there when I'm editing videos, stream and see everything that's going on over there. So that's been fantastic. And I was gonna add and attach an articulated arm so I could just shove it off to the side when I wasn't using it. But unfortunately, I waited a little bit too long, and, you know, everything in the world is ground to a halt, so I won't be getting that yet, but I'm gonna get one soon. Right now I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone for streaming and for general, like, recording purposes. It's not what I would usually have. You can see that there's another microphone on the edge of my desk, a podcasting microphone that I would plug into the soundboard that we use for podcasting, but it is over at Richard's place, and again, I can't get it back. So life is, you know, life has changed. The way that we go about things has definitely changed a fair amount, and that's okay, but I definitely look forward to having it back, and then I can make space for it on the desk and get everything properly organized with that as well. That's definitely an upgrade to come. But that's basically it. I mean, it's a desk. And I like to keep my space really clean and tidy, but it's also a reflection of my life and my mental state. So if I'm in a chaotic place, I'm working a lot, I'm scattered, then my space tends to reflect that. So one of the benefits to being stuck at home lately has been I've put a lot of time into just tidying everything up and cleaning it, which is where I've also improved upon, you know, the sink and shower area. You might have noticed under my desk is a radiator. That's the only heating source that I have in the room, and above it is the window, which is the only source of ventilation I have in the room. So one of the things I used to do is cook on my desk. I have a hot plate that Rob gave me, which is fantastic. And it used to be kind of a pain because I had to clean off the desk, set up the hot plate, cook, run back to where the sink is over in the corner, come back. You know, the back and forth was kind of a nightmare, but worth it. But then when I installed the bed above, I didn't really want the fumes and the vapors and all that stuff getting up and into the mattress, which is understandable. But as people were helping me to put this place together a couple years ago, one of the things that came a little bit later was a washing machine. Also thanks to Rob. And that works as a fantastic countertop for the hot plate. And because there's tile and everything back there, it's a great spot to cook. Right next to the sink, it all works really well. It's not very much space. I can't really do a lot of work there. I don't have a freezer, so I can't, you know, keep frozen goods, but I do have a refrigerator, so that works out well. The refrigerator is in storage across the hall. But that space over there is, you know, it's got a sink. It used to have a bidet. The bidet is what we took out to get the washing machine in there. So the washing machine's fully set up, which is fantastic. And then when I've used the washing machine and I'm drying my clothes, I just put that out here right where I'm sitting right now on a drying rack and let that do its thing. You might have also noticed that I have fans everywhere. Like I've got a fan in my bed, I've got another fan down here. It's really important for summer because for whatever reason right now, like I get decent circulation in my courtyard, but as soon as it gets hot, circulation dies and I no longer have any fresh air. So I gotta keep air moving in here as much as I can when I'm sleeping, especially because it gets extra hot up in the cloud. So this year I mean, especially if we're still stuck inside when it gets hot, I might end up sleeping down here on the couch, which is very comfortable.
But I should probably buy real sheets for it at some point.
And for those of you wondering, because I know you are, my toilet is at the end of the hall. And thankfully, strangely, I have 2 of them. Right now, I think I'm the only person using them. There used to be a couple other people living on this floor that do or did use those toilets, but they're not here anymore. One of them moved out right before quarantine, and then I think the others just left town or something when quarantine hit, so it's just me right now. I get to use the toilets all by myself, which is great because I hate sharing them. It is one of the worst parts of living here. I'm really grateful for this place, but I have to keep sandals by the door and then walk out in the middle of the night, hope I don't run into anybody. You gotta get dressed to go to the bathroom at 3 in the morning. It's not ideal, but you know, it's better than not having a toilet, and it's definitely better than having a toilet in here because I don't want that. I don't want to have a toilet in my room.
Of course, one of the major downsides to the size of this shower, actually the shower's not bad, like plenty really of space. It's nothing luxurious, but one of the weird things is because this door is so small, I actually have to cut my own shower curtains out of bigger shower curtains. Otherwise, it's way too much shower curtain. That's my whole story. I'm getting out of the shower now.
And there you go. That's more or less it. That is a brief walkthrough of a very small space that's very quick to walk through. I can tell you that much. It's all concrete walls, so it's not easy to install stuff. I do have some machinations, like I said, for putting up a little bit of organization for my shoes by the door, putting some shelving in under the TV to put like some lights, some more plants. Maybe Gilly can get some better sunlight down there, I'm not sure. And of course I could also put the Lego Arc de Triomphe that Natasha gave me. Assuming that I've finished this by the time quarantine's over, I've got this Lego Arc de Triomphe that my friend Natasha gave me that I've really been looking forward to putting together, and I've been putting off, and now it's the perfect time to do it. So it is a little bit complicated to make modifications in here. I also want to put a shelf in up above so that there's a little bit of something to look at when I'm in bed. It's pretty blank and white up there. And also the light up there, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the light up there, it's terrible. It's blinding. Oh well, what can you do? It's a horrifyingly bright white light right in your face. I hope you enjoyed this brief walkthrough through my tiny little home. It is actually pretty great. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm doing well in quarantine. I'm very fortunate that it's this comfortable, and it's so much better than it was just even a year ago. And thanks to everybody who helped pitch in to make this place what it is, like the TV, the rug. There's so many different elements to this room that were put together or made possible by people like you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a part of that. And of course, if there's anything that you wish that I would have talked about, things that you're curious about, that you have more questions about, please feel free to let me know. I'm definitely gonna do another one of these after I finish putting together the little bits and pieces that are missing. I have a lot of ideas. I'm not sure how many of them are going to come together, but I'm looking forward to giving them a try if nothing else. And I'm hoping that you'll stick around and check that out when the time comes. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure you do that before you go. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, stay safe out there. Keep washing your hands, and I will see you again here bright and early again one of these mornings sometime soon, because I mean, this is basically exactly where I'm going to be making all my videos from for the foreseeable future. So now you have a better idea of what the layout is, if nothing else.